I think that pretty much proves that the condition.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to another stream. This time, I figured out yesterday what I wanted to do with it. I'm gonna start making a Regency shirt for myself. The context of it is that I watched a few too many Jane Austen period dramas, and I like the costumes, but the Regency women's silhouette is not really for me. Like, I don't like the shapelessness of the dress below the bust or anything like that. So, what I do really like are the Regency men's shirts, which are basically just really, really high collared shirts, like up to your cheeks essentially. And then you get the waistcoat next to it, and then you get the jacket over it, and you've got all these layers, like sort of framing your face. I really like it, so I wanted to make something similar for myself. Um, and while I don't care particularly much for historical accuracy, it is kind of an obvious thing that if you want to create a historical look, like if you like the way it looks, then one of the ways to achieve it is to make the actual thing. Now, I don't think I'm going to do entirely that, but basically I'm going to do 2 shirts. One is going to be white, and it's going to be accurate-ish. And one is going to be black, and it's going to be more liberal. So I want to start with the white one and see how far I can push it for it to be flattering on me, because obviously it was designed for men, and see where that takes me. I've done some calculations a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not entirely sure that they were correct or whether they make full sense. So I'm gonna just start over, take some measurements, do some math, and basically I won't be doing a full like pattern drafting. It'll be more like figuring out some ratios, because the pattern itself is just rectangles mostly. So the way that the shirts work is that you've got the front is essentially one big rectangle, and it's got a cut in the center front so you can put your head through it. And then it's got the cuts going towards the shoulders so you can also put your head through it. And the back is once again like a rectangle. And all of that gets gathered into the collar, which is a rectangle, or it can sometimes be a little bit pointy. Like you see this in the Jane Austen movies, where the collar will go up to sort of the ears and then go down again. Because if you were to continue upwards, you would just end up halfway up the back of your head. It's a bit much. And then the sleeves are also just rectangles set into holes in the side of the body. They are a bit gathered at the top. And the effect is that because you've got a rectangle for the body, it actually hangs off the shoulder a bit. And I feel that that is a core part of the look. So I want to keep that where the shoulder seam runs all the way to halfway down your arm, and then you get the gathered sleeves. And then there's also some gussets in there. There's supposedly one just here on the shoulder to round out the neck hole a bit. And there's one under the arms to help your arm move up and down. So I'm going to start with the measurements I know I definitely need. And then I'm going to do some math and work out where I end up if I do that. So the first obvious one, I think, is just it fitting on my torso. And I know that my hip measurement is the biggest one. So I'm going to make sure it fits over my hips fairly generously, but not too generously. And then I'll take that as the main measurement for the body. So I'm at about 95 centimeters or something. And so if you get a... So we're going to get a rectangle. I'm not even going to do accurate measurements. I'm just going to draw approximate shapes and write some numbers on the side. So if this is the front, then so it would need half of my hip measurement in there, but it would also need a little bit of give, so it's not too tight. I've just round up my hip measurement to 100, so it's 50 evenly. And I'll make that 50 wide. So it's got 5 extra centimeters. That seems reasonable. Then the length. So that obviously has to go from my shoulder to my hip. This is about from here to here. Standing up straight. About 65. That seems like a reasonable number. Now let's consider the armholes. Let's see how much space I actually need to fit my arm. So fitting my arm, but not too tightly, would be something like 45, a hole of like 45 centimeters total would do. So, but we need to split that between, so I'm just squiggly 45. We need to split that between the armhole that is going to be here and the gusset that's going to go on the side of the armhole. It's going to go like this, like a triangle. And basically, I think you can also count this part as part of the armhole. And then it shrinks down a bit to where it's just your arm in there. But you gotta also keep in mind it's gonna be gathered, so it's gonna be a little bit poofier than this actual gap. Though you do need to fit your arm. Oh no, because the gathering happens here, so it will already have fanned out a bit by the time you reach the end of the gusset. Oh, that's probably fine then. So if you take 45 divided by 2, because it's like back and front, that's 22.5. And if you want to put something like, I don't know, does 8 seem reasonable for the gusset? I don't know. Hey, Nico, nice to see that you're watching the stream. So I put 8 on this, and then I'm left with, let's see, 22.5 minus 8 is 14.5. Am I doing that right? Yeah. End up with 14.5 on the actual armhole here. That seems kind of reasonable. How much is that? 8 centimeters. It's about this much. Seems like a decent amount. 14.5 is like this much. Okay. That seems good. And then how big do I want the sleeves to be? They do need to be a little bit billowy. And like be sort of poofy on the arm and then go into a tighter collar. What's that? Collar? What is that? I keep forgetting words for pieces of clothing. You know, the arm collar. Cuffs, that's the word. So it needs to be an amount that's kind of wide, but also will not be too insane to gather into this amount of space. So, I don't know. Let's pretend that it would be this big when it's hanging off my arm. That seems reasonable. It's actually a little small here for it to be considered billowy, so maybe a bit bigger. Something like that. I don't know, somewhere in between. Let's call it 48 centimeters all the way around. And then now I need to do math with pi, right? To get the diameter. Oh no, actually I don't, because of course it will be flat, actually. So you can just divide it by 2 and then you're there. So that'll be 24 for the sleeve. Or actually, well, since you're folding it in half, it'll be the actual 48. Wow, I am such a math genius. And that will have to gather into 45. Seems excessively reasonable, actually. So now what? The length of the sleeve. Ooh, but that's a tricky one. Because like I said, it's gonna be the shoulder seam is gonna hang halfway down my arm, and I don't know where it's gonna end yet. But I can know where it's gonna end because in theory I know where the neck hole goes. So let's figure this one out, and then I can figure out the sleeve. Or I just go for the underarm. Maybe that makes more sense. Because I don't know how much this is going to hang off the side. But I know that this is going to be right at the side of my body. So if I just take that, it'll make more sense. If I'm going along the inside of my arm, about 50 for the sleeve. And inside of my arm would start here, not entirely on the end of the gusset, I think. Or would it? I was saying 50, right? I guess this is also worth something as sleeve length goes. I want to calculate maybe half of it. How much is that? It's like a equilateral triangle. I think you multiply by something like 1.4 to get the diagonal. So that's 8 times 1.4 is how much? 0.4 of 8 is... I can't math today, I'll just get a calculator. Whoop. 8 times 1.4 is 11.2 divided by 2 because I only want half is like 5.5-ish. So that will I will count that bit as sleeve length, and then try to make it add up to 50. So this would need to be about 45. I'm just rounding up a bit because it's easier to take stuff off than to add to it. And then, let's say for the cuff, how much would I want? About this much? Seems like you can move in it, but not move too far. About 20. So this is a sleeve. This is a cuff. It's about 20 by, I don't know, this wide? How much is this? About 3 centimeters. So it'll be times, actually by 6 because you fold it in half. Then I still need the neck worked out. That's going to be interesting because I'm not going to wrinkle anything here, but there's going to be a cut or an opening here. It's going to be gathered. Now I'm wearing a shirt with a, hey Emilienne, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm going to just measure, how far to my actual shoulder. About 14. You're okay-ish? I heard you had a busy day yesterday. 15 centimeters of like from my neck to the edge of my shoulder. Just sort of a guideline. How much space do I need for my actual neck? Hey Marceau, welcome. Well, I know how PTs are, but I'm not too familiar with the online ones. Let's see, how much space do I need here? About this much for my collar, which is 38 centimeters. So that'll be, the collar will be 38. And then, how high should it be? It should go like up to the side of my face, I think. Because that's how Mr. Darcy looks. So it should be about 12-ish centimeters long. Seems really tall for a collar. Okay, and then I should probably just cut 2 of these and make an actual seam along the edge. That'll probably be a more crisp, clean look instead of folding in half. So I'll just do that times 2 for the collar. So whatever hole we end up with here needs to be able to be gathered onto a 38 centimeter collar, but you can do pretty extreme gathering, like losing at least half of the... There was one judge call? What was it about? what if I've got this total width is 50. Just going along my shoulders from one side to the other. How much is that? How much is it gonna overhang? Like 40? So I've got, if I don't pull anything towards the center, I will have 5 centimeters overhang on every side. Not a lot, honestly. A rules question. 10% of the tickets per player? What do you mean tickets? Like support requests? Ah, yeah. Almost as if. I guess they're kind of used to the whole online thing by now as well. So if you... Once this becomes more round because you stick your head in it, what happens? This would get smaller. And that's not good because I want a little bit of overhang. But there is still get support. Oh, nice. I thought it was just like a talk to people on Discord thing. There is still the triangular gusset that goes like on the neckline where you can gain a little bit of length, I suppose. How does that work? If you put that in here, like basically a triangle goes like here. And then the total collar circumference, like the amount that I need to get rid of, will be this length plus this length plus the same length on the back plus the back. So it'll be twice this and twice that. How much do I actually need to like put my head through it? Or just measure my head like an idiot? I don't know. Oh, maybe I should start from the correct end of the measuring tape. I said I was going to measure my head like an idiot. Something like 62 to comfortably fit my head through. If this is 50 and this is reasonably like a third of the total width, that would put it at something like 17 times 2 is 34. That makes no sense though. How do I... Oh, because wait. I forgot about this opening, which will also help a lot to put my head through. So 17 and 17 is 34. Then you add something like, I don't know, another 8 centimeters for these gussets. So that makes it 50 total, and you fit a 38 collar on that. That seems excessively reasonable. Seems like you wouldn't have to gather much at all. Let's just go for that. We'll just make this 17 and this 8. And then it will be a triangular... Actually, this should be a... It should be a straight corner, like a... there. actually, let's make it the same 8x8 that I'm putting in the sleeves. And in that case, you end up with, what was it, 11 and something up here? So then with the 17, it's 80, 28 times 2 is 56. That still seems pretty reasonable. Alright, so I think that's it. You put 2 of these big triangles, one of which you cut a hole into. Maybe I'll need to do some... What is happening? I've got the window open. If you put some facing or some bias tape or something on this, normally it would be folded over, but screw historical accuracy. Is there enough to gather then? Gathering 58 onto 30... 56 onto 38. It's not a huge reduction. But it seems not awful. What is sort of the measurement across the front of my neck? 20? Maybe so maybe I should make this at least 20. Otherwise it'll look weird. Let's do that. So that adds another 6, so we're at like 60, exactly the 62 I need for my head. So I could even put it on without doing this. So I can make this not so deep. If I want to. What is a reasonable depth? I don't know. About this much. 9 centimeters. There you go. And right now it doesn't have any tailoring. Like there's nothing to make it fit my waist or anything. So I expect it'll be kind of baggy, but that's also kind of the look that these shirts have. So I'm gonna just make it like this and then see how I like it. And if I don't like it, I'll put some darts in. Seems good. So I'm gonna grab my fabric and start cutting. So I've got this, whoops, I need to actually sit on the stool, that helps. I've got this white, it's a cotton and linen blend. Traditionally, these shirts would be made mostly out of linen, but, you know, this is what I found when I went to the fabric store. And, hey, it's got at least some linen in it that has to count for something. So, let's see, does the grain actually matter? Let's try to cut it on grain. This fabric is, I think, a little bit narrower than most. So let's see if I can actually fit the whole thing on it. This is... oh, it's actually not narrower than most. Okay, I lied. It felt narrower when I picked up the bolt. It's a not particularly generous 140. So if I have to add some, oh, I have to add seam allowances to this. Let's add a generous, like 2 centimeters all the way around. So this is like +4. This is, how much do I want for the hem? Let's add 5 to this, like 3 for the bottom and 2 for the top or something. And then I need 4 times a triangle of 8x8. Which will be plus, also +4 will actually be 12x12 triangle. 70. And then for the sleeves, I want, let's give this an additional 5. because that gives me more space to work with if I want them a little bit longer. Here we'll just do the standard 4. That'll be 52 cuffs. You'll go, if I add too much to the cuffs, it'll stop being able to like fold in on itself. So I'll just add 3 to this, like 1.5 centimeters each side. Oh, I don't actually. Oh yeah, I do need each side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 9 plus 4 is 24. And those are the actual measurements that I need to cut. 2 plus, let's do 3 on the collar. 15. Okay. So this will definitely fit out of the fabric, I think. This, I've got, how much did I buy? I think 2.5 or 3 meters. Let me just check that. Do some quick math. This is it, folded in half, yes? How much is that? It's a generous 2 meters. So if I use up 70 on the front, and then this also fits lengthwise, if you want to do that, that's another 50, that's 120, and then you can definitely cut this out of the remaining 80. Yes, that will work. Let's do it. Let's put this to the side. And some other stuff I don't need. So, Emilienne, what are you up to today? By the way, I've already ironed and washed this, so it's not going to shrink anymore, which should be a good thing. And I'm just going to change out my chalk pencil because I've got a white chalk in here, which is not great for white fabric. There we go. I'll go for this grayish color. Minecrafting while doing summer school with the kids. Then at 5, the PT day 2. Seems like a good way to relax before the PT. Play some Minecraft. Hello? Ah, there we go. So, how much was the body again? 54 by 70. Even though I could... This seems short, though. Like, this is 70. Is this the length of my shirt? I'm gonna hold that up. See if that makes sense. Actually, it does make sense. Oh, great. I will never guesstimate based on fabric laying flat on the table again. Like, I could cut it like this, but it would be technically be off the grain, but it would save some fabric. How is the stretch? And how much does it matter? It's a little bit stretchy, actually. How is it so stretchy? Fairly sure that when I bought it, it just said cotton and linen blend, but the way this is really stretchy is a bit suspicious, actually. How is it doing that? I'm gonna do a quick test, because I don't entirely trust the fiber content here. So here we go for like Fabric Analysis 101. It's been a while since I've done this. I've taken out a thread and I'm gonna run it through my fingernails, and you see some amount of fluff came off. That means it's probably natural fibers, so that at least makes sense. It doesn't feel synthetic either, so that seems fine. It does seem like kind of short fibers, which like cotton fibers are a bit shorter than linens, but you also get a lot of variation depending on the quality. And I'm gonna also just burn it, because like the way it smells and the ashes it leaves are actually quite indicative of what it is. So here we go, lighting stuff on fire for science. Aha, yeah, this makes me a bit suspicious. There is this sort of, well, it's not sticky, but it's fairly sturdy residue that seems to me a bit like synthetic fibers. I don't trust this. I should probably hold it with tweezers before I like burn my fingers. And it also burns irregularly and very quickly, and that also suggests it's not a natural fiber. If it smells sort of like burned paper, usually an indication that it is natural. I have a feeling it's a blend. It's like there's some stickiness and some irregularity to it, but it does smell a bit like paper. I'm gonna guess there's some like kind of stretchy fiber in here somewhere that is not cotton or linen. So that brings us back to the question, do I cut my panels like this or like that? And I think actually this stretchiness might be nice to make it fit me a bit better. So I think it would be wise to cut it like that. So let's do that. Now, traditionally, the way to get an entirely straight line out of a piece of fabric would be to pull a thread. Basically, you literally just piece out a single thread from the weave, and that way you know it's exactly straight. And it sounds fascinating, but it also sounds like a lot of work, so I'm gonna just not do that. But just so you know, it exists as an option if you want to. I'm gonna just put a couple pins in it so it doesn't shift while I measure it. Mark it. So I said 54 by 70. Let's do this. And then oh wait, I should have probably put a horizontal line there before I moved on. Whoops. that do anything? Barely. Come on, make a line. Why are you not working? Really faint. All right. So then we go up. Now we go up. My ruler is not actual 70 centimeters long, so I have to do this in parts. Do it half and half. So this is 35. This is 35 more. Gonna measure it in by 54. I guess I need another mark to make it all the way back down. There we go. Let's put some pins in it so it doesn't move as I cut it or anything like that. And I forgot to do a line across the top. There we go. So this will be the front and the back. So I'm also just gonna mark one of these with the neck hole. So that was gonna be 20 in the middle. So this was 54. So the middle is at 27, which is here. Then we've got the 2 centimeter seam allowance plus the 9 centimeters I wanted for the opening, which will put us here. And we've got the 20 centimeter wide hole that is going to be left here. Perfect. Oh, and then plus the gussets. So, whoa, that's going to end up way close to my shoulder. This way the gusset's going to end up being like almost hanging off my shoulder. It seems not correct. I don't know about this. Especially if I'm going to be gathering this. Maybe I'll change my mind on the dimensions. I'll make it a little bit narrower so it's not so extreme. So I'll just take a different color and revise my plan again. So that would put us, I don't know, let's take 1.5 centimeters off of it, giving us something. So new marking is here and here. And then 8 out from there is there. That seems more reasonable. Let's do that. making it up as I go along, as usual. Feels weird cutting things including the seam allowance. I'm so used to having to add that in when I cut. Alright, so that's the front and the back. Well, once I cut off the bottom edge, that'll be the front and the back. Now let's do the sleeves, because they're the second largest thing. And I can probably get some cuffs and stuff out of these bits as well. Let's keep this nice and lined up. So that would be 48 by 50, 52 by 50. So it's very close to this size. Where's my... There we go. 52. We go up by 50. It's not exact, it doesn't really matter because the seams don't have to add up. You can just, a lot of it is like gathered to fit. You can just sort of do whatever and do whatever and make it fit later. This seem short for a sleeve? I don't know. Oh, no, actually, when I put my arm on it, it makes sense. Now, traditionally, these would be hand-stitched because, well, machines hadn't been invented yet. But, as you might know, I dislike hand-stitching a lot. And I don't do it unless I have to. And since historical accuracy is not the aim for this shirt, even though the cut is mostly historical, I don't care about the methods. I'm gonna put it under the machine. Screw that. So that's the sleeves. Now what do we got? We've got... Can we... How wide is this strip? It's about 15 wide. What can I get out of... Ooh! 15 is the exact width of the collar that I was gonna cut twice. So this is actually perfect. I love this. So I just need a bit that's 42 long. Let's do it. I love this. This way, if I don't cut it open, I can still decide to have like a folded over collar. I don't think I will, but I could. Is that exactly straight? I'm not sure I trust this. Put on some music. So this will be the collar. Maybe I should actually label these pieces because they're all so similar. I don't want to write it on though because you might see it at some point. Just take a piece of paper and pin it on. Oh, I probably also want to save a piece of fabric to make like a cravat. Because if there's one thing you need to be Darcy, you need like the necktie cravat thing. That's probably... How much would that need? You've got... Let's attempt to tie one. If I was gonna... Oh wait, it starts in the front, goes around the back, goes back to the front. Then it has to go in some knot of some form, and then hang down a bit. Sort of like that. It's probably a reasonable length. 125. I can probably just get away with taking the width of the fabric. I'm just cutting a strip of it. That seems good. Alright, so cuffs and gussets, yes? So I've got 2 times 24 by 9 and 4 times 12 by 12. Yes. So does 4 times 12 by 12 fit out of this piece? It does. Perfect. Here, up there, 24 there. Oh, you can't actually see that. Hold up. And then over 12. Oops. this should be a straight corner. There we go. Okay. Now I just need cuffs. Which could also go out of this piece, I think. I mean, they'll be cut off grain, but honestly, I don't care that much. And if anything, I would prefer my cuffs to be stretchy like this instead of like that, so it's probably fine. .24 by 9. Yes. Maybe I should make them a bit wider than the 3 I said. I don't know. Nah, it seems reasonable. Where's my ruler? .24. 9. It over. And that should be actually all the pieces cut out. That's pretty awesome. Now let's see that for the cravat, I'm just gonna cut a piece off the other end so I don't have to cut this flappy bit off. It doesn't seem so neatly folded up here. What's going on? Oh, it was just cut, not quite straight. That happens. Should I cut a double width so I can flip it over and make it two-sided? Yeah, otherwise I need to finish the edges in awkward ways. So how wide would you want it to be? You want to be able to tie it around the collar, but be a little bit smaller, but it will scrunch itself up anyway. So something like this. How much is this? About 10? Yeah, let's do 20 by, actually need a seam allowance. 22? 22. First, let's get a straight edge. How lopsided is this? Oh yeah, you can see by where the threads are pulling out that it is actually cut quite diagonally. So it's not just me folding it poorly. It was actually cut that way. It's not me, it's the fabric. Never my fault. Ooh, this seems really off now that I see it like this with the ruler on it. That add up? It does. The same if you look at it from the other side. I guess that means I'm doing something right. Alright, and then up by 22. There we go. There's a little bit of a visible thread running through here, but I don't really mind because it's going to be sort of scrunched up anyway. And most of it is going to be hidden inside the waistcoat. I am going to make a waistcoat. It's not going to be... Definitely not today. It's not going to be entirely Regency. I do want to go for the high collars because once again that's what I like about the look. I've got some deep red fabric for it. So maybe more vampire count than Darcy, but it'll be nice. And I'm not sure I'm gonna make the overcoat, so maybe I will leave the third collar for a later project, or just, I don't know, pull a jacket out of my closet that just happens to have a high collar. All right, so now that's everything cut, like for reals this time. Am I gonna finish all the edges of the fabric first and then get sewing? Or should I just get sewing and then serge it later when it's assembled? That'd be harder though. Decisions. I think it's probably wise to just finish all the edges first. And then I can just freely assemble it and do whatever. But what if I change my mind about some of the measurements? I'd have to do it again. Okay, fine. I'll just start sewing and then figure it out. So, I guess I'm going to start with the side seams on the body. Oops. I'm not sure if I should also do the seams at the shoulder yet. Let's see, if I do this first, and then, oh yeah, you gather the sleeve in, so you would have to have this finished before you attach that. That makes sense. And then I could also do the gussets. Yes. So I'm gonna do side seams. Oh, I need to know where to stop because the sleeve needs to go in here. What math did I do on that? It's 14.5 for the actual hole, then plus 8 for the gusset. So I end up with also 2 centimeter seam allowance here. So it's 24.5 is where I need to stop stitching. Okay. So let's also just mark that real quick. This is where the gusset starts. This is where the gusset ends. Did I say 24.5? I think I did. That was correct. Alright. Let's see if I still have any white thread anywhere and start stitching. I've actually got some of this off-white, which seems historical-ish, but I'm not sure if it's too dark. And then there's just straight up plain white. Let's hold it up with fabric. Actually, I like the off-white more. That does maybe mean that I'm going to save that for top stitching if I'm going to do any, and just stitch the inner seams with this. I don't know how much is still on here. I'll just start with this one and keep that one for the pretty bits. What kind of goth would ask? I'm not sure it's too dark. I mean, it's a white shirt. I guess I could stitch it all in black because, but the black shirt is coming later, so. Oh. Hey, oh. I actually already have bobbins for both of these, but this one looks like it was wound like garbage. Just look how irregular that is on the spool. That looks like I screwed something up, and I'm not sure that will deal well with the machine, but we'll see how that goes. Like, the reason I'm making the white shirt the more historical accurate one is, one, because the historical shirts were typically white, but also because I expect to wear it less in, like, day-to-day life. I have a feeling that like the slightly less accurate and much more black version of this is something I might actually wear to the supermarket, whereas this is just not my jam on its own. This is a fairly thick needle. Let's change that. Where's all my 70s? I want one of these. I think when they did maintenance on my machine, they put this needle in, and I don't actually have... I don't know where to put it, because I don't have a box for it. I'll just toss it in there. And I was going to take one of these. Plugging it in might be a good idea. Let's do that. Is this a piece I just marked? I just tossed it on the floor. Is this even what I'm supposed to be doing? Ah, yeah, it is. Okay, good. How much seam allowance did I give myself? 2. Where is that? I've usually got a piece of tape on my machine with centimeters marked on it, but it got a bit worn out, so now it's gone. I guess this is a good time to put it back. I need those markings. Let's just put a piece of tape. And then Sharpie on it for a bit. I guess you can't see any of that, can you? Hold on. Well, I don't understand for this, do I? Okay, no. Sorry, I can't show you what I'm doing. I'm just marking some distances from the needle on my machine. So if I tell myself I need to stitch at 2 centimeters from the edge, I can just guide the fabric to that spot. Now I gotta make sure it's dry before I stain my fabric with the Sharpie. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go. Where's the top? All right. Wait, what is happening to my VLC? And why is it playing something else now? No, 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 no. You stop that right now. Fixed. All right. So, I'm just stitching the side seams now. Nothing particularly special about it. Oh, I think I stitched too far, didn't I? Because the gusset was supposed to start there. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna go back. I need to pay more attention. Stitch a little bit more. And stop there. And I'll just unpick the rest. Whoops. I got a little bit carried away. You fully support the idea of gender bending Darcy in the supermarket even if the world is not ready? Oh, whether the world is ready is never my concern for wearing anything in particular. Whether, as long as it's my vibe, I'll wear whatever. But, just white shirts are not my vibe. You know, I'm not sure if a white shirt makes me feel good enough to go to the supermarket in it. Bit awkward, but you know, you sort of get used to wearing black all the time. Feels weird. Like, I once went to a department store with a friend, and we just pointed at mannequins wearing outfits for each other for something that was just totally not your personal style, and to like try it on and see if it's weird. And I can confirm that it's weird. It's not like, oh, I am such a transformed and trendy person now. No, it's just weird and not you. Oh, I should probably cut off the salvage here. Otherwise, I can't see where 2 centimeters is. Because I did all my measurements from this red line that I'm not sure you can see on the stream. So I'm just gonna cut right there. Alright, next bit. Why is it not making noise? It seems so quiet. Maybe it's just the fact that I've had maintenance on the machine that makes it not quite so rattly as it was before. Now let's do the shoulder seams. I gave myself how much seam allowance? 2. Alrighty. Wait, that's not even 2. What am I doing? Gotta actually stick to what I measured. That stops here. Same here, but in my case it's waistcoats. Just flashy colors? Oh yeah, go for it. Like, whatever is your jam is what you should rock to the supermarket. Wait, did I screw it up again? Did I? Yeah, I did. I stitched the part that was supposed to be for the gusset closed. Let us, what? Now it's, how is it even stuck in the machine as well? I just pulled it up. What is this? There we go. Alright. I should really maybe stick to patterns that actually have all the markings on them. Or, I don't know, do more markings up front because Okay. So. Alright, so theoretically I can sort of maybe try it on if I cut into the bit that's supposed to be the slit at the front. Let's try it. Alright. See how this goes. Oh, it feels really tight in the hips actually. Well, not like really tight, but like when you watch Pride and Prejudice and like Darcy comes out of the pool or whatever, you know, in the BBC version. It's just it seems a bit more billowy than this, but I don't know. It's not awful. I think it's just hanging open. It is hanging off the shoulder a reasonable amount, I think. Like that. Yeah, and it's actually, I like that I made it not quite as big, because now it doesn't look, it looks a bit shapeless, but it doesn't look enormous, and like, I'm not a total sack of potatoes. So, I'm kind of okay with this. I just need to take it off without like, taking my shirt off. Ugh. Alright, so I think I'm going to put the gussets in, or the sleeves. What should I do? I think I'm going to deal with the whole neckline situation first. Maybe put some bias tape around the edge, put the gussets in here, and then try to put the collar on. Why not? Do I have any white bias tape though? So this is something I didn't shop for. Oops. But I found stuff in my drawer. This is a smooth, satiny, just a little bit too yellow, entirely inappropriate piece of bias tape. That I'm going to totally reject. This is not smooth and satiny, but it is polka dot, so I mean, I'm up for getting a bit creative with it, but I don't actually like this as a look. So, I guess I'm gonna have to make some of my own bias tape, but I don't like doing that. Maybe I'll just cheat and do like a non-bias bias tape, just some sort of facing. I actually got these scrap pieces that are the perfect size for it as well. Wow, this is destiny. Like, these scrap pieces that are left over from cutting the cuffs or something are the exact length of that opening. I think I'm gonna have to go for it. I'll just treat it like one of those, you know when you have a cuff and there's sort of an opening in the sleeve where it opens up, there's a little thingy stitched around it? Do it like that. First, I'll just stitch these together real quick on a really tight margin because I don't have much extra length. And before anyone complains about me doing like random shit because I happen to have these two pieces, piecing is historically accurate. You know, fabric was expensive. So you want to use as much as possible of it. So if you know, if I was a Regency dressmaker and I had these pieces and it fit, I would totally use them. Just saying. What is actually the outside? This is not the outside. So what I'm going to do now to finish this slit in the front is I'm going to lay it open all the way to make it basically like a straight line. And then I'm going to stitch this strip onto it like that and then flip it to the back, which will... And then I'll stitch it down on the back as well and it'll just be nice looking. And there will be a little bit of puckering here because obviously once you fold this into a straight line, this is going to double over a bit. There is a way to do it insanely neatly where you have to do some origami with folding this into a corner and whatever, but I don't feel like doing that today. I am just going to put a little bit of fray check on the end, which is like a kind of glue that seeps into the fabric and makes it stop fraying. So, because this is quite like a fragile bit of the whole thing. I'm just gonna sort of pin this together a little bit so it stays out of my way. There, who knew that this was never a straight line? And I've got the seam on the two pieces is meeting exactly in that middle. Which is exactly where I want it to go. Try to get this as crisp as I can. But at the same, like I'm going to stitch really close to the edge here so that there's as little puckering as possible, but at the same time I want to make sure, like very sure, that I do actually catch the fabric. Otherwise it'll just be a gaping, fraying piece of nonsense. Alright, I'll go for it. Oh, I pinned it the wrong way around, didn't I? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, always pin along the top edge because this is how you'll be stitching it. And now I've got the heads of the pins feeding into the machine. I could stitch it upside down and just be really careful about removing the pins. Might actually not be unreasonable because it also allows me to see what I'm doing with the folds. Let's just do that. Stitching it upside down is a good way to like cut your fingers on the pins if you don't watch out, so. This is just something I keep screwing up for as long as I've been sewing. gonna put the stitch length a bit shorter so that the fact that it's really close to the edge makes it a bit prone to like fraying out. So I want to make it a little bit stronger. Now I gotta make sure not to stitch on the actual pin because that would be bad. Wow, do I actually have a bot on my channel asking me if I want to buy followers? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Hold up. Where do I ban this person? I don't even understand why, like, I guess if you buy Instagram followers or something, you could insist to, I don't know, marketing companies that you have a large following and therefore they should pay you a lot to advertise their stuff. But on Twitch, like, if you don't have the, like, haha, you are already following me for much cheaper. I got a great deal on that. But seriously, like, how, like, a bot is not an actual viewer. Even if someone is following you, if they don't ever tune into your streams, that's garbage. If they watch but don't actually watch and never interact, that's garbage. Like, I wouldn't know why you would want to do that. Anyway, so what I've got here now is that stitch this strip to the opening on the front. And now I'm gonna fold it towards the back. Yeah, I guess. But a lot of, like, the whole point of reaching the levels is that you unlock stuff like subscriber emotes and cheering with bits and stuff. So if the followers you buy don't actually do that, it's not actually bringing in any money for you. I don't know. Oh, that's possible that you'll be ranked higher. I haven't looked into it because I don't really care. Like, hello! Say hi to the motorcycle in the street. Like, I just stream because it forces me to actually work on stuff, so as long as I do that, it's all fine with me. So now I need to fold this over in a nice way and stitch it to the back, so it'll be nice on both sides. So let's do that. Actually, the strip is a bit wide. Do it a bit shorter. I actually sort of just want the width that I already stitched it, which is insanely small. I'm not sure I can actually do that without it fraying to all hell. Maybe I should just take a bit wider? I don't know. I'm gonna pin something up and then cut a little bit off. Then pin it and see how I like it. I'm just rolling over the edge and then folding it onto the back. And I guess if this was historical, you would then fell it down, but it's not historical, is it? Well, you can optimize your audiences. Yeah. I mean, being able to brag to people about how many followers I have was never the goal of this. Just that, A, it forces me to make stuff, because if I promised people that I'd be online and I'm not, I hear about it. And it also just... people seem to be generally interested enough in seeing how I made things that I thought it would be worth something to someone. So that's the whole point. So those who are actually interested can watch it, and so I actually sit down and work on it. But I'm kind of flattered that apparently I am now attracting the bots. You know? Do the bots have some sort of algorithm for who they target? For oh, maybe the bots saw that I have 2 viewers and thought I might like to buy some. That's also a possibility. Can't get, like, this bit is annoying me. I need this to look nicer. Alright, so this is what I've made now. I folded it over to the back and then pinned it down on the front. And I think this actually looks pretty reasonable. It's a bit bulky here on this fold, I guess because exactly that edge is there, but it's good. And now I'm gonna stitch exactly, this is called like stitching in the ditch. I'm gonna stitch exactly in like the dimple of where the previous seam is. So it's nearly impossible to see. It'll look nice and clean. Why is it not moving forward? Please go. Okay. looks like, actually, rather than stitching in the ditch, I'm stitching exactly on the edge, which is arguably harder to do, but it's not what I was trying to do. I don't know. It'll still look pretty smooth. Look at me being accidentally competent at a thing. So consistent as well. It's like if I aim for stitching in the ditch, as soon as it goes under the foot, it flattens out and it becomes stitching right on the edge. This is good. I like this. Alright, so now I finished the slit in the front with this small edge, and you can even sort of iron it out and make it fold in the middle and sort of overlap so it's only half as wide. But since it's sort of free range anyway, like the shirt is gonna close at the top and the cravat is gonna go over this. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna leave it like this. So then, the gussets. So the idea is that I'm going to fold one of these squares in half and then stitch this part to the front panel and that part to the back panel. So it goes in my neck, sort of like this. It creates more space. And then the collar is going to go over that, right? Yeah. Oh, so it's actually going to shrink a little bit because you lose yeah. Yeah, okay. Fine. Thinking maybe I should finish these edges before I stitch it in. This is going to be a bit more annoying to finish. I'm not sure. So here we've got, this is the shoulder that's currently connected, and here's the front and the back. It's just going to go in like this. So I need to stop exactly at the corner. Oh, maybe I should have done this before stitching this closed. Because that way if I don't meet exactly in the corner, I can fix that later. Oops. I'll just try to get it exact and see what happens. Did I give this 2 or did I give this? Yeah. I'm just going to mark how far. This is going to be the actual corner because the rest is seam allowance. So this point needs to go right there. And not a tiny bit further. I'm doing this the wrong way around again, aren't I? It goes like this, then you pin it. There we are. I guess I just need to mark where exactly I need to stitch now. Oh no, I don't, because I've marked my machine. So smart. Just pin the second one as well. And a 1 and a 2. No, not like that. Like that. Oh, actually, I need to start my stitching exactly here, so maybe I need to not put the needle there. I kind of need that space. All right. And now I need to stop exactly on the corner. Like right there. And not go any further and just go back. Alright, that's one side of the gussets done. So they're now attached to the back panel. I'm just gonna fold this over like that and do that side as well. It's actually coming together faster than I expected. Now I know that that's something I say a lot, and then, you know, 2 hours later I'm still doing whatever detail I didn't remember I needed to do. So I don't want to make any promises, but so far so good. I actually like I'm used to doing corsets where everything has to be really exact, because if you stitch all of your seams 1 millimeter off consistently in the wrong direction, you end up with like a size smaller, because there are so many seams and it's all so precisely fitted. I like being able to be just like, oh yeah, it's about 2 centimeters. Yeah, that's cool. And if it doesn't fit, I'll just gather it a bit. That's fine. Like, nothing needs to fit exactly in this thing. It's great. Oh, maybe I should also stitch the second one. Alright, so I think this completes the neckline, basically. Let me just put it on again to see where I'm at. Need some light. Oh. Oh, actually, like the gussets on the... Ah, this is math, people. So I've put these triangles in on the corner. I'm not sure you can see. Hold up. Hello. So I've put these triangles in on the corner. And actually it's shortened the shoulder in a way, because previously the shoulder width was this long, like along the side of the triangle, before the triangle was ever there. But now it's actually this depth, like this sort of half the triangle thing. And obviously this is shorter than this. So it's actually kind of decreased the shoulder width. And that kind of bothers me because I want that overhang on the shoulder. Now if I pull this all the way to my neck, it's barely hanging off the shoulder anymore. That's not cool. Is this acceptable? I guess, well, you can sort of make up for it on the waistcoat a little bit. If you extend the waistcoat all the way to, like, you would put a shirt normally, or a jacket, you would put the shoulder like right here on the edge where your arm starts to go down, like on this little bone. But if you put the waistcoat here, which is reasonable for a waistcoat, and you've still got some extra space. So maybe it's not bad. I think it's acceptable. I'll just continue. And if it's utter garbage, I can still buy an additional 1.5 meters of fabric and try again. So let's get back to it. So am I going to do the collar now? Actually, I think I'm going to just finish the edges first. I think I'm confident enough in this that, well, this is going to be encased in the collar, so it doesn't need finishing, but the rest kind of does. I'm going to cut these tips off. It's actually a good excuse to use my serger for once, because I end up not using it as much as I thought I was. So bring out a different machine. Yeah, I do think the waistcoat can help. Like, You wouldn't normally cut a waistcoat all the way up to the edge of your shoulder. That's just excessive anyway, so it's fine. So next machine is this baby. Now it's been a while since I used it, so I need to plug it in. 2, I also need to sort of remind myself how to use it. All right. So, step 1, I think, is going to be putting white thread on it, because this is not going to work. Where did I put that? This is potentially problematic, because I don't have full spools of white thread for this. I've just got these sample spools that came with the machine. So let's see how far that will take us. Step 1 would be threading it, and there's actually 2 ways of doing that. There's the actually knowing how to do it way, which involves like opening the front here. And I'll show you with the webcam if I can. Like, there's a whole bunch, this whole chart is how to thread it, and it's a bit fiddly, because there's all kinds of moving parts in here. There's a specific order you need to do it in, otherwise it doesn't work, etc. Second option is that you cut the threads at the top, then tie the new threads into it, and then just pull the whole thing through the machine. And I've never actually done that way, so I'm gonna try it today. I was like, I need to learn how to actually manually do this. So I manually threaded it a couple of times. But now let's try the cheaty way. So take these, it's all stuck in the handle as well. Got these 4 threads. I'm going to cut them at a reasonable length. Remove those spools. And I guess I'll have to order more thread. So then I'm just gonna tie this thread to the previous thread. If I can. There we are. Honestly, this is kind of fiddly. I'm not entirely sure why people prefer this, but hey. Maybe I need to cut them a little bit longer next time so it'll be easier to do. And then the last one. And then I think if you've got like the machine positioned right, you can just pull it right through. But let's see how this is gonna go. So I think this is all pretty firmly attached. So supposedly you pull the thread that's already there somewhere. Pull it up. So there's supposed to be the end of the previous bit I did in there somewhere, but I can't actually see it. I think it's, hold up. You're getting like the live feed of me like breaking my machine or something. So I think that the last bit I stitched is there somewhere. Oh, it's stuck. Haha! Found ya! Alright, that's a lot better. It was stuck underneath the thingy. I've got it now. So now supposedly if you pull it towards the back, it will pull through, but it doesn't seem to want to do that. So I'm going to turn it a little bit. It's not great either. I'm going to put the camera back so I can use both hands on this. I'm going to just turn the wheel while I pull on it. See if I can find the sweet spot where it will move. It doesn't. Where's the manual? This is getting bad, folks. Once you start reading the manual of your machine. I think this is actually the manual recommended way of doing this, so they better tell me how. Threading the machine. 20 pages of it. Attach the new thread, blah blah blah, and pull it. Take the threads off the spools, put them through the... Yes. Lift the presser foot, done it. Cut away the knots and put the thread in the needle again. What? You know what I can also do? I can just run the machine on a bunch of nothing and it will also use up thread until the white threads come out, right? Let's do that. Oh. I need to actually step on the correct pedal for that to work. Let's roll. It feels kind of jammed right now. Oh, maybe because the foot is up. That's a good argument. Nope. I think something might be stuck. Actually, some thread that I think is supposed to be stuck in something is not there. Is it? I don't know. It seems not good, so I'm going to just manually rethread it. Screw this. Just cut all the threads and call it a day. Bye. Or maybe I can pull them through now. Ooh, look. That's done at least 20% of my job. Judge and Pros? Yeah, go Judge and Pros. I heard you did a great job yesterday, so... wait, hold up. Part of it might be that I didn't actually put these in the guide thingy up top. That's also a thing. That might have made it smoother. As you can see, I am a pro. This is... whoa. What is going on here? This is a total mess. I think it's actually sort of tangled up. I need to remove that. Make it not be stuck in this one. Okay. Now what? Now nothing. Remember when I said 15 minutes ago that it was going quite smoothly? Well, here we are. Alright, so I know you gotta start with that one. Right? Right? I made notes on this. Two, 1, 3, 4. 2, 1, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this one goes in front of here, behind this hook. And then, oh yeah, then you need to do the pushy outy thingy. How does this work again? Lever you gotta flick? Oh no, that's the other one. Oh god. Oh yeah, it's that one. It goes here. And then it goes through this eye. Yes. Okay, I think I got this one. And I think the reason you gotta do this first is because the other one goes like in front of it. Alright. I believe that is one correctly threaded thread. It's a start. This goes here. And then these two loops. Maybe while I'm doing this, I'm still thinking about the shirt and the shoulder thing and how tight it seems in the hips. So maybe I'll just, I don't know. After all, I will make it a little bit wider. I've got quite a wide seam allowance, so I can move my seam over by 1 centimeter, which will give me a centimeter extra on each of the shoulders and 4 extra centimeters around the whole hips. Seems like a reasonable amount. So this is the thread that has the weird, like you have to do a clippy thingy or something. You clip something back and then it does something. The clippy thingy. Yes. That's where I am now. There's a thing I have to clip up. That's the one. That's what I was looking for. That noise. And then you turn it until the thingy comes out, which is already out, so that's good. You hook it behind here. And behind there. Yes. And then you turn it and it will clip back. Haha. And then it needs to go through that hole. This has gone from Regency shirt making to Anique figures out how to thread a serger like real quick. Or maybe not that quick, but faster than I imagined. Where's my tweezers? Alright. I think that's correct. So now we do the top 2 threads. This is not even the right way around. What the hell is this? Right. Through here. Up there. Through there. How do I get it? Oh, there. Okay. You have to go over the... There. There. Oh yeah, it's a lot like fighting against a printer. You try to get that one stuck piece of paper out of there or something, that is exactly what this is. But I think that this thread has now also made it. Actually, I think I got it wrong in one of these spots. There's still a hooky thingy that it can go behind here, so it probably should. There. And now it goes in the needle, yes. Where's the clippy thingy to clip the foot down? Hello? How did I just forget or lose or how do I put the foot down? Am I crazy? I just raised it when I started doing this. What am I doing? What did I touch? I feel like such an idiot. It felt so intuitive as well when I did it. So why is there no... I am expecting... Ah! There we go. Needle goes up. Thread goes through. Thread goes not tangled. And thread goes to the back. Right? Right. One more thread to go, and it's supposedly an easy one. Then I really hope it works. And I will have to re-figure out how to do that pulling it through thing, because supposedly like the best life hack ever. And I'm here not using it because I couldn't figure out how. It's a bit awkward. Oh wait, you're supposed to go through that other hole. Aha! I think I did it. I think we're now going to find out whether I did it. I am able to pull these threads through, so something must be right. That's promising. Alright, let's try a test piece first. Where are my scraps? I had very few scraps, didn't I? Might not be wide enough. Let's see where we're at. Well, I think we can say that it actually works. It is a little bit pulled together, which the lady showed me what was wrong. Like I was taught how to do this, and this was a thing I learned how to fix. I just forgot how. I think you need to cut off a little bit more of the fabric so the threads have a better way to go around the edge, which would mean adjusting the knife, but I think the knife is already all the way to the left, so I'm not sure that's actually an option right now. Let's see. Yeah, it was already all the way to the left. In that case, maybe I messed with the tension. So, where did my test scrap go? Oh no. Where did it go? It was a bit bulged across the top. Huh. I need another test scrap. Where's my fabric? And this is actually 2 layers now, so it's more representative of the actual shirt, right? And if I don't mess with this too much. Where do I end up? Oh, it's actually a lot better when it's 2 layers. I would actually consider that to be pretty neat. So, let's do it on the real deal. Now, this is a little bit more high stakes than the sewing machine because this machine also cuts the edge of your fabric off to make it nice and even. So, if I screw this up, it's not really redoable. So, there we go. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a margin. I think I might need to do something with this. How am I gonna do that with the gussets? I think I'm just gonna snip it here and make it lie flat. There we are. machine has a bit like at a certain frequency, it resonates with my table and it gets really bouncy. A bit awkward. Dress historians probably turning in their graves over my use of a serger on a Regency shirt, but uh-oh. That needs to go more like that. That seems... looks a bit more awkward on this part where there's not 2 layers of fabric, but it's not awful. The rest looks pretty solid, actually. And, oh, ha! I get to use my new thingy that I bought. Where is it? This is really neat. So, you can see that you've got these wispy things. There are several ways of making them not unravel. One of them is to sort of stitch a little bit, then trace it back and catch it under the stitches. But I thought that was kind of effort that I didn't want to put in. So I bought this, I'm not even sure what it's called anymore. I'm not sure you can see it on camera either. But there's a little flippy thing. So you can see, like, there's this way, it can be smooth and like a hook go through something. And then there's a flippy leg that can flip over, and then you can smoothly come back and pull the thread with it. So that's what I'm gonna do to get this in. So the idea is that you go under a couple of stitches that you made with your little hook. And then on the way back out, you catch the bit that's sticking out and pull it back through. This is, of course, where it sounds wonderful and doesn't actually work when I do it. Why, am I caught behind something else as well now? I think that I've hooked a little bit too many things. Ah, there we are. Didn't actually pull it through all the way. I'm gonna just do this again. I'm gonna do it on the front. It's probably flatter over there. Okay, let's try that again. Oh boy, where did flippy thingy ended up? Way over in the fabric somewhere. Instead of smoothly flipping up. Hold up. No, no, no. Oh, this looked like so easy to do when I saw it on the internet. There we are. That's pretty smooth. I like it. Wait, when did I cut this short? Why did I do that? What? What did I do? Screw that, I'll just put some freight check on it. Doop, doop, doop. It's fine. So for the edges, I think, since I've decided to make it 1 centimeter wider, I'm gonna leave finishing this for now until I've put in the gussets and the sleeves. Or should I just do both edges separately? That might make sense, actually. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it until I do know what I want. In the meantime, I'm gonna do these edges. Actually, I don't need to do these edges because these are gonna go inside the collar. Yes? Oh, not all of them, not this. Okay, fine, I'll do these edges. Actually, I don't want it to cut these, I think, because I need the dimensions, do I? I'll just mark the stitch line. What am I even doing? Boop. Now, finish the heck out of this. Please move forward now? It's getting really stuck with this. That was a little excessive. It's like, because I started with the thick part first, it hit that bump and was like, yikes! Yeah, I think I did it. Or did I create an awkward fold with the gusset? What did I do? Did I do it? I did do it. I just need to fix, like, this mess. I think I'll just not, because it's also going to be inside the collar. It's a little bit screwed up. It's not that bad. Just trim it so it's not that bulky. All right. See if this one's gonna do any better. Okie dokie. That seems fine. See if I can get better at using this hook thing. Whoops. Yay! I think I am getting better at it. Cool. Alright, now let's put the collar on, I guess. Before I do that, I think I want to reinforce it. Oh, hello! Welcome to the stream. I didn't actually notice you dropping in, Mark. How's life? Life is fine. Life is, I don't know, not that offensive right now. Which is good, given the times we live in. So, I'm going to put a collar on this shirt, but before I stitch it on, I want to reinforce it. Because collars need to be a bit stiffened. So, I'm gonna, I don't know. Maybe I should also decide whether I want the perfectly straight collar or the pointy at the ears thing. What we're building? I'm building a Regency-ish men's shirt for women. Basically, I watch too much Jane Austen, and I don't like the dresses, but I do like the men's shirts, so I'm making one for myself. So here I've got some white woven interfacing, so it's quite strong and stiff. I'm gonna just put it on. Traditionally, it goes on only one side of the collar. Like, you put it either on the side that faces your neck or the side that faces the world, I suppose. If you've got a collar that folds over, usually you put it on the side that's facing down, because then the top one can be nice and smooth over it. I don't think it makes sense here. I think I should put it on the side that is up against my neck, because that is the one that needs to stand up the most, and then it can sort of flop over. I don't know. I'll just cut one piece, iron it on one of these, and then take it from there. I did finish the corset. Would you like to see it? Hold on, hold on. I got this. Whoop. Ta-da! So, if I just kill the lights a little bit. This is just you know, because why not have a short demo? So, here we go. Switching it on. I'm not sure you can actually see that. I'm gonna kill the lights a little bit more. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I also posted some pictures of it on my Facebook page. You know, like and subscribe. But, or my Instagram. I have an Instagram these days. Is this happening at the next VNV concert? I mean, definitely. The only question is, where and when is it gonna be? I noticed that VNV is actually doing some concerts right now that are like drive-ins in Germany. But honestly, as much as I like VNV and as much as I think you can make something halfway fun out of sitting in a car, it's not really why I would go to a VNV concert. So I'll just wait until we can all stand in a crowd again. A better vibe, I don't know. Funny story, because this weekend is the weekend that Amphi Festival in Cologne was gonna happen if the plague didn't happen. So I should be wearing this at a VNV gig, like right about now. I think they were actually headlining the Sunday, so I should have been wearing this in a couple of hours. That's, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna drive to Hamburg for it, so not right now. Alright, so I'm gonna just get my iron out. Oh god, the hamburger jokes. Let's unplug something. And my not quite ironing board, where is it? Alright, so this is just an iron-on interfacing. You just, I don't know, you iron it and then it sticks. That's the extent of it. I've been reading a book I would like. Here. Het is oorlog maar niemand die het ziet. So what is it about? Uh-oh. Why is there like a dirty spot here? That's gonna be on the inside anyway. It's about cybercrime, cyber warfare. Huh. I mean, the last time I read a Dutch book by a Dutch author on cybercrime, the author was called Rian van Rijbroek, and it was a comedy of sorts. It's a journalist. Okay. Sounds pretty cool. Actually, kind of relevant. I'm not sure if... Yeah, I was about to mention Stuxnet. Because I heard a news item recently about how in Iran there are, once again, some like power plants and things having some technical difficulties. And Iran is actually insisting that nothing weird is going on, even though there's quite a few of them that's been having issues. So, not quite sure what's happening with that. Should probably not do this on my table, but whatever. Let's unplug it. Not like the Alpha Ibuka. Fox IT shows up a lot. Oh yeah, those guys are great at PR. Of course they would. So there is one additional thing I need to deal with for the collar. Normally, I would stitch the outer edges of the collar first, so the ones that sort of are going to end up at the top and the sides, or at the top and the sides. And then you sort of fold it open, you stitch this to the shirt, you fold this under, and you stitch that to the shirt. But I don't know. I also need to deal with the fact that the neckline is currently bigger than the collar. Because we did that math. The reconstruction about intelligence agencies. Oh yeah. Have you also seen, there's this documentary about Stuxnet, I think. What's it called again? Is it just called 0 Days or something? It's quite a fun watch. So, the point is now that this is longer than this. So some amount of gathering needs to happen, which was anticipated. Not a whole lot of gathering, just an amount. So how am I going to do that evenly? Because it's actually only a tiny amount of gathering. Maybe I'll just do it all on the gussets? No, that would just make those bulkier even though they're already 2 layers and the rest is not. What if I don't know. If I just do it only on the back? That makes sense. No, I should do it only on the front maybe because being not a man, I have breasts that, like, need some accommodation. Oh no! Oh no! It seems that what I stitched by Fancy Schmancy folded under whatever thing actually failed to fully catch the edge of the fabric in the stitch line. Aha! Aha aha! Ahem. That might need redoing, because this is not acceptable. Well then. So far for my theorizing about the collar. I'm just going to fix this first, because it's going to bother the hell out of me. Oops. I was doing so well on this as well. It looked so good on the outside. Turns out it was garbage on the inside. Of course, None of this would have happened if I just hand-stitched it. Why is this not even coming out? Come on now. The first screw up of the project is, well, it's not even the first, is it? I also screwed up on the seams initially. Whoops. Why is it having such a hard time coming out as well? I'm not sure I want, no, I'm not sure I want a counter. I'm not sure I need to get a counter. Maybe a mistake die to manually increment. Nah, you know, sewing is not a competitive sport. And it's okay to make mistakes and all that wholesome stuff. I mean, you already get punished by having to do it again, so... It's a self-balancing sort of thing. You know, winning at what? Alright, let's try this again then. And fold it a little bit more tightly this time. Okay, so this time, this edge needs to go far enough in there so that I actually catch it in the stitch line. Let's go. Okay, that seems good. Game day in the third weekend of September. You mean like Magic Game Day? Or like at your house game day? It seems interesting. It depends a bit on how the whole plague thing develops. Because last week we were looking pretty good, but then this week it's not so great. And who says that by mid-September we won't be totally fucked? But if it's at all reasonable to come to your place to play games, then yeah. I'd be up for that. I mean, a lot can change between now and September. Is there any reason you have it already set for third weekend of September? It seems kind of far into the future. All your weekends are already booked up? What are you doing with all your weekends? How do you manage to have a busy schedule at this sort of... at these times? Yeah, people do suck at organizing. That's a fact. Next weekend. Holy crap. That's a lot of trips with a lot of people. I hope they don't like... I mean, they're not going to close the borders between here and Ameland, but they... I hope you're still, like, allowed into Belgium by that time. Or, like, don't have to go in quarantine when you come back. Because Belgium is sort of going the same way we are. Doubling cases last week and stuff. What? This is not good. To go in the thing. I'm hating this thing. If only I had used the historical method. I think this is it. What's not going well is that this bit is a bit thick and I didn't want to fold over in a good way. Like it was doing the exact thing that I'm trying to make it not do. But I think we're good now. So let's try that again. I hope that when I just pulled the pin out that it actually stayed in place. But we'll find out soon, I guess. Why are you stuck? Come on, move. It looks a little bit funkier on the outside than it did before, but the real question is... Yeah! The edges are no longer coming out. That's a win. Okay, now let's go back to this whole I need a collar thing. I was theorizing that I was gonna gather only these bits to make it a bit poofier in the front. Question is that enough? Like, how much do I actually need to gain? Because how big is this? Time for the big ruler. So this is... Did I really make this 17? Did I? I think I might have. Either way, it's about 17. Oh, actually, I have to go a little bit into that because otherwise I can't catch the edge of the gusset. So I got one for that. About 20. And then you go like this. It's about another 10. So it's 30, 40, and then whatever you need to lose here. But this was only 36. You had to give it a number. How far along the whole project am I? Actually, I'm kind of doing the collar first. I did the side seams, and now I'm doing the collar, and then I'm gonna do the sleeves last. So I think I'm about... The sleeves also need a bit of work, because you need to do the gathering at the top, and they also have gussets, and they have the cuffs. So I'm about, I don't know, 40%, I think, on this. Which, honestly, how long have... Oh, I've been here for 3 hours. And I'm at 40%. This is honestly not bad, considering my usual progress on much bigger projects. I think I have realized that I can't just do these bits, because even just this is longer than the collar I've got, right? Goes like that. It goes like that. And it goes like, yeah, no. I'll just run an even gathering stitch along the whole thing and then see where I end up. I guess do some more gathering on the back here as well. So a gathering stitch means that I'm going to do a stitch where the tension is a little bit lower, so you get some loops on one side. And then you hold on to one of the thread, wait, let's start somewhere else. Sewing machine actually puts two threads, like one goes over the top of the fabric and one goes under the bottom, and they sort of lock into each other. So if you keep if you keep the bottom one pulled tight, you can sort of move the fabric along with the stitches that are coming from the other side, and that can get you really like even ripples. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put 2 rows of stitches in, because then it will turn out even more even. That's the plan. This is a mess. So the first stitches are going to be exactly on the stitch line where the collar is going to be attached. And then the second one is going to be a couple of millimeters into the seam allowance. Let's see, 2.5 millimeters seem good. Wait, why am I stitching it from this direction? It makes no sense. This is... Okay, take that out. I can't actually maneuver the rest of it under the machine in the right way now. What about that punt thing, right? Beat me to it. La 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 la. Take the whole thing out, do it again. Okay, this time I'm gonna put it like this. Or like this. That makes sense, I think. It's a little bit weird with the gussets. I guess I should hold them like this for it to make full sense. Yeah. Alright, so now I gotta make sure that I leave a long thread so I can actually do that, like, pulling on it thing. So that's good. Now I'm gonna do another stitch line right next to this one. So I can make sure that, like, if you just have one row of stitches and you start to scrunch it together, it sort of goes up and down and every which way. If you've got two, then you've got a little line in the center where it's lying perfectly flat. That's what I want. Alright, let's do some gathering. I'm gonna mark the middle of the back of the collar, just so I know where it is. I did make, I guess, Mark, if you'd be so kind as to put another punt in the chat, because I folded this one down and this one up, and it's kind of not symmetrical now. Doesn't actually matter, but I think it counts. Oh yeah, I was gonna put a marking here in the center so I know where. Where is my pencil? I don't know. I'm getting kind of sloppy with this one because it's so, like, it's an undershirt. It doesn't have to be that precise. Oh, I also noticed I did it asymmetrically on this side as well. Did I? Oh, no. No, this is actually correct. I think, but I don't want to redo it because that's dumb. And I can't even partially unpick it because then the gathering doesn't work anymore. And so I'd have to take the whole thing out, and I don't think it affects anything. So I'm gonna leave it in. Yeah, so I'm gonna mark the center so I know where I should be, like, basically so I can tell whether it's even or not. What I've done. Wait, which side is the side with the long ends supposed to be? I think this one. Right. So this side I'm just gonna tie some knots to make super sure that it doesn't get pulled out or anything. And then here, I'm going to hold on to these two bottom threads and then scrunch it up. Hello? Hello? If it will go. It's not going that smoothly. It's moving a bit it's moving not that great through the thick pieces, because obviously folding it into tiny ripples when it's really thick is actually, like, it takes some force. So this is not as great as I hoped it was going to be. Am I just gonna... do I have to figure out a different way to do this? This is not even moving. Not even moving. You can see that here is the gusset, which is quite thick, and here is where the front is sewn to the gusset, so it's even extra thick. And I can wrinkle it all the way up to there, but then it just won't move. Ugh. Why is it being like this? Why? Maybe I'll just wrinkle pieces separately. Do like these front bits and the bit in the center. I don't know. I don't like it anymore. Maybe I'll work out a way to do this, like, in the upcoming week, because I've been here for more than 3 hours and it's time for me to make some dinner. So on that cliffhanger of how am I gonna fix the wrinkles, I'll leave it and I'll be back next week with this, I think. There's actually something that I shamelessly want to plug, which is that next weekend is a thing called CocoVid, which is, like, the Coco part stands for Costume College, which is normally a costume convention that happens in the States, but it's canceled this year because of the plague. So they're doing it online now. Like, there's a bunch of live streams, videos, Discord things going on all throughout next weekend. And I will be hosting a workshop there for how to do corset patterns. Like, not normal ones, but stuff like this. How to convert a normal pattern into a weird thing. Which will happen next Saturday. And then next Sunday I will be back for your regularly scheduled stream, where I will hopefully have worked out a way to not do this. So thanks for hanging out with me and keeping me company while I punt graciously and then have to fix it. So I will wish you a pleasant evening, and I will see you next week.